We have breaking news from Minnesota right now. Thank you for joining us today. I want to bring in NBC investigative reporter Andrew Blankstein and Jim Kavanagh, law enforcement analyst. All right, Andrew, you've got new information. What can you tell us?
My colleagues Tom Winter and Jonathan Dean reporting now, three sources familiar with the investigation. They've identified a suspect, Vance Bolter, 57 years old, a Minnesota resident, obviously still being sought by authorities at this hour, at least what we know. They're in the middle of processing a scene, involved in this manhunt, and so there's a number of things going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. We're still obviously trying to get a sense of motive in this case, which is still coming together. What we do know at this hour, based on what authorities said officially, is that this was a targeted crime against these legislators and their spouses, and that at this point there was a list of multiple people on it that looked at possibly other political people, and that this individual was dressed in some kind of a uniform with a vest that appeared to be like law enforcement. So I think what that interface is, obviously we're still trying to get a sense of that at this moment. But again, identification based on three sources familiar, Tom Winter and Jonathan Deans, an individual by the name of Vance Bolter, 57 years old, from Minnesota.
And to be clear, they have his name, but he's not in custody. He's still on the loose, correct?
At this hour, what we've been told is, and what we're going on, is that they are still looking for this individual.
Do we know anything about him?
I think we're trying to get as much information as we can. I think authorities have a head start in that regard. And obviously, Stephanie, that goes to motive, right? Even though there's this list, even though this person appeared to use a law enforcement type uniform to do this, all these pieces are going to start to become more apparent as this investigation goes forward. You have the processing of the crime scene. You have the individual being backgrounded as we speak. And then there's all the other aspects in terms of family, friends, co-workers that might speak to motive. And as we know, certain pieces may come out, but that doesn't necessarily paint a very clear picture in the immediate aftermath of something like this. And then I think that's going to be the big question going forward. And it's also a question, as we reference it, law enforcement around the country wants to know against the backdrop of large-scale kind of marches and rallies and protests. Because if there's a political motivation here and there was a list that targeted politicians and there's anything that had to do with any of the rallies, those are the questions they want answered and then distribute to both law enforcement and to the public so they can get a sense of what this is about.